Hello automators, thanks for tuning in again. It's time to go through all the latest for the smart home and home automation industry here, give you all the latest news for these products. So by the end of this, you're going to know what's coming out for your favorite product maker. We're going to go through things from Google, Amazon, Philips down here, and some other makers that are very important in the industry. So let's get going. This week, I'm starting out with Cortana, which might seem a little strange to you, but what Microsoft is doing right now, I think is going to impact the big players in the market in terms of how they approach their own voice assistants. What Cortana and Microsoft are doing, or what's happening right now, is they're moving off to the side. They're not going to try and directly compete for overall voice assistant dominance with Google and Amazon. I think they've realized that they're a little out of their league here, and they're not going to produce enough devices to keep up with these guys. So they're moving on from that. Cortana will be in limited devices. But what they are doing is creating an app or a service and integrating it in terms of specific experiences. And when you think about Microsoft, you think about Office, you think about Windows, and you think about all of that capability. Now, what I have on a Windows 10 PC, I have Cortana, and I've started to actually use her in specific situations. It's interesting integration, but a couple of things that they've done recently that are really important to you are the ability within the app to set scenes and essentially run smart home products. So, you're seeing the ability to now go and create some integration with Cortana on that side. Great. We already have that in our other devices, but for those of you who don't have one of these devices, just want an assistant on a phone, you can do that with Cortana now. In the past, we saw if this then that integration, and that actually opens up a lot of opportunities on your PC or your laptop with Windows 10 on it. On top of that, what they've actually done is split out Cortana from the search bar in Windows 10, or that's coming in the next update. It's expected in April, and it's intended to allow the search bar to go further, and we're really noticing Microsoft paying attention there, being very sneaky about how they're dealing with search there. Actually, I'm very impressed with how they're kind of eliminating Google. And on the flip side, Cortana is being separated to do very, very specific things and to give you specific experiences with Cortana. If you haven't already heard, Project Alias is something that's intended to go on Google Homes, the standard speakers, or some of the Echo products. And what it is a at-home, do-it-yourself. Basically, you can print out the cover, which looks like a parasite, and you can get a Raspberry Pi yourself programmed. And the ability here is to actually stop those devices from listening until you use your own chosen wake word. So it gives you the ability to eliminate the wake word for Google or Amazon. Arlo has changed their free cloud storage capability with their new cameras to a paid service. Now, what I'll tell you is you still get a trial year, they say, with that cloud storage service. And the other difference from, makers like Nest is they do have a local storage option where you do have an SD card capability here on some of these new cameras, but they have made this shift away from totally free storage. You get a year, but after that you've got to pay, and it is per camera, around $60 for a year. We've seen a number of things coming from IKEA. They had the trad-free system here that have the smart lights on it, and they're moving in different directions with that system, including some new smart blinds that they're putting out, which I think is a really good implementation for them and for their whole suite of products. But what they're continuing to do is develop smarter relationships, I think, with other companies, and Sonos is their latest. So the Symphonisk set of speakers, essentially, that will be integratable with different IKEA furnishings, as well as being standalone speakers sold in IKEA stores with really obviously powerful sound from Sonos and the ability, I think, in the future to integrate with voice assistants. Philips was at CES 2019, and we didn't talk about them a lot here on the channel, but they did expand their outdoor lineup actually of products. They announced 3 new fixtures and the ability to include an outdoor motion sensor. And that's a relatively good choice if you already have a Philips system in terms of a security option. And with the ability to trigger on lights through a number of different means, you could go ahead and trigger on your outdoor lights as you see fit. So some good new products from Philips. Abode is a smart home security system, essentially a bunch of different sensors, some very different sensors, so I suggest you actually check them out. Very interesting, but they are getting HomeKit integration, and they will put out a new hub with new kits here kind of mid 2019. Now those sensors that I was talking about, just to give you an example, they have a vibration glass sensor, so not necessarily somebody breaking it, but they sense vibration. So that could mean a lot of different things. You could do a lot of different things. Lots of people have an existing Petcube. There are two new products that were released here recently, the Petcube Bites and the Petcube Play 2. Both of those have additional integration. So what's happened is they've actually put Amazon's voice assistant on board, as well as a speaker, so you can play music through these little Petcube devices. So really turning these pet related technology into something more usable in general in your home, not just a pet monitoring solution. Smart home security, speaking of that topic, if you haven't already heard, Nest had a number of different of their customers have their accounts essentially hacked, is the statement in the media, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But their accounts were hacked, and then there were fake warnings of a nuclear missile attack being broadcast on one of them. So this was obviously a big story in the media here, and for Nest, a really concerning thing. Now, what I want to tell you about this situation is hacked doesn't quite describe the situation, and I'm really frustrated that media continues to use this word hacked. You're not hacked when your passwords and your ability to log in or your account information is already out on the internet. So if you use the same password and the same account, basically username or email address, and that gets stolen in another service and you don't upgrade your home security, this is your problem, not Nest's problem. A couple more things to talk about. Apple has put out a new patent that is very interesting. So, everyone who kind of raises their phone up to take a picture, you know that you're going to take a picture, and so does Apple. So as you do that action and you raise it to the right level, their new patent suggests, and this will be on the 2019 versions of iPhones, they are saying basically as you raise it, the camera application will open up. So some automation there in terms of their functions on their phone. Now another thing, the Amazon Echo wall clock, or the Amazon Echo clock here, has not had a great rollout, and Amazon has actually pulled sales of that here and has paused everything until they get some connectivity issues fixed up. So that's all I have today from the smart home automation side of news here. Hopefully you have a lot of great new information to go and apply to your smart home. Now, of course, on the channel we want to have you subscribe, so here come the links. So go ahead, click those, or watch some more of our content here coming at the end of the video. So thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.